Why are people not listening to your message?
There are many things to be understood before we can enter into the question. First, the word people. There are no people as such. There are Americans, Russians, Indians. There are Christians, Hindus, Mohammedans. There are socialists, communists, fascists. But where are the people? These are all crowds. These are not people. A crowd can be in three different forms. The worst is the mob. And the worst is the most prominent in the world. A mob means an unorganized crowd. The greatest crimes have been committed by mobs. Because a mob functions exactly unconsciously. And in a mob, nobody is responsible. You can do anything, and you are not responsible. I have seen mobs burning living people, and I have asked the persons who were part of the mob, not just silent partners, active participants, that are you aware what you are doing? Burning living people, children, women, just because they happen to belong to another mob. They are Mohammedans, you are Hindus. The only difference is between the label of the mob, because most of them have been Hindus before. And tomorrow one of you may be a Mohammedan. To change a label is not a difficult thing. How many Mohammedans had come in India in the beginning? Only 500. Now, India is the world's biggest Mohammedan country. Next to Hindus, they are the biggest religion in India. Half of India they have taken already, which has become Pakistan. In the remaining India, any day, they will again demand for the same reason. 500 Mohammedans, how they have become millions. These are all Hindus. Their labels have been changed forcibly, and you are killing them. And even if they are not Hindus, at least they are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, husbands, wives. And a mother is a mother. It doesn't matter whether she is a Mohammedan, a Hindu, a Christian. The relationship between her and her child is the same, whoever she is. Do you know what those people said to me? They said, we were not aware of all this. In fact, we were not doing it. Alone, on our own, we would have never committed such a crime. But when the whole mob was doing it, whether we participate or not makes no difference. The people were going to be burned. And we don't know how we started doing things which we were not prepared for. We had never thought about it. This is the way of the unconscious. But the unconscious is a vast continent. The mob belongs to the unconscious. And any moment you are possessed by the unconscious, you are part of the mob. And the other way around too. The moment you belong to a mob, you are falling into the darkness of the unconscious. Then you can do anything without feeling at all responsible for it. That's something very significant to be understood. If we want a better world, the phenomenon of the mob will have to disappear. Because it is the mob that goes on pulling you down deeper and deeper into darkness. And there are mobs all around the world. Where are the people? The second stage of crowd is crowd, a little bit organized, a little bit unorganized. And the third form of the crowd is organization. Perfectly organized. Think parallel to human minds. The mob, the lowest, is the unconscious. The crowd is the subconscious. Just the border line. It is not much. Either you are in the mob or you are in the organization. Perhaps for a transitory period you may be in the crowd, passing from the mob to the organization or from the organization to the mob. It is just a border line, subconscious. It has nothing much space in it. Crowds are not that dangerous as mob, because a little sense, a little consciousness is there, and a little responsibility. The traffic on the road is crowd. A little organized, a little not organized. But it is not a mob. The highest in these three categories is the organization, Christianity, Hinduism, Mohammedanism, Communist Party, Fascist Party, Socialist Party, political, religious, philosophical. It does not matter on what excuse the organization exists, but it is organized crowds. Well organized, regimented. Look at the Catholic Church, which is the most organized religion out of all religions. It is almost an army camp. The bureaucracy, the hierarchy, every small detail is being dictated from the above and has to be followed exactly in the same order. If you don't follow it, you are expelled. You are thrown out of your position and power, and it gives position and power so much that nobody is willing to risk it. So people go on pretending, showing false faces, these are the three kinds in existence, but none of them has the dignity to be called the people. Whether it is a mob or a crowd or an organization, one thing can be used as a criterion: no individuality is allowed. In that sense, organization is the most dangerous, because it kills your individuality very methodologically. Crowd is not so dangerous. It is a little loose, gives you a little more rope. Mob is less dangerous in this sense, because it does not bother about you at all. It is a cloud, a dark cloud. There is no who is who. Nobody is the leader and nobody is the led. Just the unconscious instinct predominates. And because it is the same instinct in all of us, and that's why a mob can function without any order, without any pope, without any church. But its function can only be destructive. To create, you need a certain order, not organization, but a certain order, a certain awareness, a certain individuality. But for destruction, nothing is needed. You can become an instrument of destruction without any qualification. No university degree is needed, no skill, no craft, nothing. Hence, the great appeal of the mob to attract people. You can become a great mob leader for the simple reason that you don't ask them to have any qualification. What is the great quality in V.I. Lenin? The quality to create mob around himself. And to manipulate their instinctive destructiveness for his political ends. And the same is true about Mahatma Gandhi, Mao Zedong, any so-called great political leader. His only skill is how to implant into the mob a certain idea. And because it is going to be destructive, there is no problem. Let me explain to you. Mahatma Gandhi was the uncrowned king of India before independence. Because before independence, the question was destructiveness. The British Empire has to be destroyed. Everybody was qualified. The whole country was under Mahatma Gandhi. But what happened? Even Gandhi had not expected it, could not have expected it, because he was not that conscious a man. He was surprised, taken aback when independence came. The same mob forgot all about him. The same leaders who were nothing before independence who were just hanging around him in the hope that if he wins the battle, some power they may also get. Those leaders became prime ministers, ministers, governors, governor generals, and they all forgot about Gandhi. No Gandhian has analyzed the phenomenon. It is of such importance because this has happened to every political leader in the same way. Before the revolution and after the revolution, there is a tremendous change. Mahatma Gandhi himself said that I have become a coin which is no more in currency. A coin which is no more in currency. He used to say before independence that he wants to live at least 125 years to see India completely renovated, renewed, rejuvenated. And after independence, he started saying that I don't want to live that long. I pray to God that I have lived enough. Oh, what great change has happened. This is what he was living for up to now. And now he is victorious. It is his disciples who are in power. The country is independent. The empire that he wanted to destroy is destroyed. Now what more success he was waiting for? But at this crucial moment he realized that he does not know anything about how human mind functions. He was a leader of a mob, and a mob is interested only in destruction. Now the question was creation. The whole dimension of work has changed. The country has to be created. It was a tremendous job, almost of impossible proportions. Who is going to listen to him? It was perfectly good to carry the flag and go on shouting against the British Kingdom. It was fun. And particularly with Mahatma Gandhi, it was absolutely fun, because he was non-violent, so British government could not be violent with his people. Otherwise it would be in the whole world a condemnation. That how can you be firing at people who have come bare-handed, with their chests open, that if you want to kill, you can kill us, but we don't want to remain slaves anymore. It was real fun. British government was simply confused, because never before such a thing has happened. You can hit somebody, shoot somebody, if he is doing something criminal. But he is not doing anything criminal. Just slogans against those who have made his country slave cannot be said criminal. Carrying his own country's flag cannot be said criminal. And Gandhi started inventing small things which nobody can say criminal, but legally they are criminal. For example, he started a movement, salt movement. Now in India, salt is the cheapest thing in existence, and the poorest man can afford it, because the poorest man's food consists of bread, salt, chutney, a little sauce. But salt is everybody's need. Gandhi started a movement that it is our country, it is our ocean, and we are going to make salt. Now, British government was keeping a control on salt production, because it was one of the most consumed commodities in the country. So they were manufacturing salt from the sea. The sea was Indian, the people were Indian, but they were manufacturing the salt. And it was the cheapest thing. But still, thinking of the population of India, it counted much. And Gandhi was not going to start factories and on a large scale, but he simply started marching towards the sea and told people to go anywhere and start making salt from the sea, just to break law. And such a law which is absolutely meaningless because it is our water. If we cannot take our own water, then who are you to take our water? It is our salt, it is our land. Today you prevent us from making salt, tomorrow you will prevent us from sowing our seeds into our own land, because just as the sea is yours, the land is yours too. You should be harvesting, you should be cultivating. So what we are going to do? Just be spectators here? It was such a small legal point that nobody in the world would have thought that it is anything illegal. But it was illegal as far as their constitution was concerned. It was their constitution, that nobody is allowed to make salt except the government. It was government-owned production. But even when a poor man is making salt by the side of the sea, you cannot suit him. This is not such a crime, the whole world will condemn you. It was real fun, so everybody in India enjoyed it. But the real problem came when the country became independent. Now Gandhi was shouting, do this, do that. Nobody was interested even in listening him, because that mob was not capable of creation. And this is what I say, Mahatma Gandhi is one of the blindnesses, that he believed in the mass, not knowing that this mass is only a mob. This is not people. In his own life, he saw all that he never wanted to see. Villages burning, people being killed, butchered, slaughtered, women raped. This was the result of his whole non-violent movement. Yes, I want to say this was the result of his whole non-violent movement, because he had no understanding of human psychology. He was talking about non-violence to people who were not people, who were just a mob. And if they were following him as a non-violent leader, the reason was that to follow a violent leader you need guts. Because sooner or later you will have to face bullets. To follow a non-violent leader, you need nothing. You just need a flag and a good loud voice, so you can scream and shout. That was enough. And Gandhi believed that these people will be able to create the country. His own very close disciples stopped listening to him the moment they were in power. They were listening to him because they wanted to remain intimate to him, so when power comes, they are not left behind. Once they were in power, Gandhi was no one. In independent India's capital, its own revolution's leader was killed by one of the Hindus, and he was a Hindu Mahatma. And nobody bothers to think how all this happened. Why the same masses became so antagonistic to him that the people who used to worship him killed him. The reason was simple. He was asking the impossible. It was his own misunderstanding. He thought that he has created such a great movement. Now nobody can prevent him creating a new India. But he depended on wrong type of people, because they were not interested in creativity. They were interested in destruction. So when he was not leading them towards destruction, anybody who was ready to lead them to destruction, they were ready to follow him. So they were following Hindu leaders, if they were Hindus, killing Mohammedans, burning mosques. If they happened to be Mohammedans, they were following Mohammedan leaders, killing Hindus, destroying temples. And Gandhi was simply left alone. He himself said that I feel as lonely in my life today as I have never felt. Nobody listens to me. But it was not the fault of the masses. It was a fault of Mahatma Gandhi himself, that he depended, hoped, and based all his future programs on the sense of a mob. You cannot make a palace on the sands. There are mobs. Mobs cannot listen to me. There are crowds, half mob, half organized. They cannot listen to me either. The half part that belongs to the mob is incapable of listening. The other half is hindered from listening because their organization, their religion, their politics, their cult, their prejudice, that hinders. And the organized one is the most difficult. He is almost deaf. He has no ears to listen. Yes, he can hear. And you have to make a clear-cut distinction between hearing and listening. Hearing is everybody's birthright. Listening is not. Listening has to be earned. It is an art. You have to become capable of a certain arrangement. In hearing, no arrangement is needed. As you are okay. Your ears are working, that's enough. You can go to the hospital and get your ears checked, and if they say nothing is wrong with your ears, you are capable of hearing, but not of listening. For listening, no doctor can give you the clearance certificate, because he knows nothing about listening. He knows about the ear, which is a hearing aid. Listening is an inner art. To be so silent, so alert, that when you hear something, you are only hearing it and nothing else goes on in your mind. No thought, no judgment, no decision, even about the thing that you are hearing. Absolute impartiality. You are just hearing. I have heard that Mullah Nasruddin was made a justice of peace in his old age. The first case came into his court. He listened to one side and said, "Wait, I am going to give my judgment." The court clerk could not believe that this old fool has been made a justice of peace, and he does not know a very simple thing anybody will know, that he has to listen at least to both the sides. Whatsoever judgment he wants to give, he can give, but at least listen to the other side. He whispered in the ear of Nasruddin that this is not the right procedure. You have heard only the half a story. The other part you have to listen. He said, "Nothing doing. I don't want to get confused. Hearing both the sides, I will be confused. That's what you want. Then judgment will be difficult. Right now it is absolutely clear. And I am not going to be confused by anybody." He's saying exactly what goes on happening inside you. You decide before hearing all the possibilities and aspects, implications of a certain thing. How you manage to be a Christian? Have you looked at all the implications? Have you searched into other religions? Have you bothered that there are 300 religions on the earth? That when you are choosing to be a Christian, you are declaring that 299 religions are wrong. You don't even know what those religions are, and you have already decided that they are wrong. Certainly you are following Mullah Nasruddin. He was at least better than you. 50% he had heard. You have heard only one side, and there are 299 more sides to it. And then too, it is not certain that any one of these is bound to be true. They all may be wrong. Certainly they all cannot be right, but they all can be wrong. The true one may not have appeared yet, or you may have to find it on your own. You cannot choose from the ready-made stock available. That's what is happening. You go into a ready-made clothes store. None of the clothes available can be exactly of your own size, because they were not made for you. They are made for the average man. They have decided by mathematical calculations that how many average sizes are there. I knew one of my friends who had such a big feet that no shoe company makes that long shoe. He was in such a trouble. I said, don't be so much worried. This can give you a great insight. You are not average. Nobody is average. Everybody is wearing clothes not made for him. Some are loose, some are tight. Just close to you, but not exactly your size. That's why I have to have a whole department of Gayan to make exactly, because I am a fussy man. You can ask Gayan. She has to make my shirts 2 times, 3 times, the same shirt 4 times. But she is a German. If I am fussy, she is a German. She goes on making, I go on finding fault. But I don't think I will be able to defeat her. Finally, she manages. One of my friends from Japan started sending sandals for me. Now in Japan, you cannot find my size. Japanese feet are small. And particularly the sandals that I use are really not meant for men. But I don't believe that a sandal can be male or female. It suits me for the simple reason that I have not to bend to put it on my feet. I can just slip my feet in it. I'm so lazy. Then bending and putting and all that I cannot do. So I have chosen this type of sandal, just 2 strips. I simply slip my feet and that's okay. But from Japan, they have been searching all over Japan for me. Finally, they said that it seems to be difficult. Hundreds of pairs came, but they were all sad because they are feminines. And they are very small. Then I had to find another German. I trust on Germans. When I want to do something, I trust on Germans. So I have found Arpita. She is my shoemaker. She is also in the same difficulty. She will make and I will find fault, and she will again make. And this goes on. But finally, they know that finally they are going to succeed, that one moment all faults are gone, and then I have to accept. So they are always the winners, I am always the loser. But the whole journey is difficult for them. I simply go on sitting in my chair. It doesn't matter whether I lose or win. They can win, but they have to work hard for months, then they can win. These principles, creeds, cults that you have chosen, or you have been forced to choose, do you think they were meant for you? Can you, by any trick of imagination, manage that Jesus was thinking about Siddha? I cannot. I have tried all kinds of imaginations, but I cannot find that Jesus was thinking of Siddha. Manu wrote 5,000 years before, and he has written for the whole coming humanity. Now, what kind of arrogant people these were? But that is their problem. They can be arrogant and they can write for the whole humanity or for other future humanities, future creations. That is their business. They can do. But why you should be foolish to follow them? Manu had no idea what kind of a world is going to be there. But he has written in detail for every religious person. If you don't follow accordingly, you fall. You lose the dignity of your humanity. As far as I am concerned, the moment you follow Manu, you lose the dignity of being a human being. You lose the dignity of being called the people. Mobs, crowds, organizations all consist of persons, personalities. The people cannot allow you to have false faces, borrowed ideas, traditional, conventional, dead personalities. No. Unless you are an individual, in your own right, you cannot be part of the word people. You cannot be a Christian. You cannot be a Jew. You cannot be a Hindu. You can only be yourself if you want to be part of that tremendously significant word, the people. Only individuals and only individuals. But to be an individual is the most difficult thing in this world. It should be the most easy. But the way idiots have organized the world, they have made it the most impossible. I have heard about a Sardar Pritam Singh. He was very famous in the village where he lived. His fame depended on one thing. It was a small village. So nothing was private in that village. A smaller a place, privacy becomes difficult. Everything is already public. You cannot do anything, you cannot go anywhere without everybody else knowing. But Sardar Pritam Singh was a mysterious man. Every couple was fighting, and in a village you need not fight with closed doors because everybody knows what is the point. People fight on the street. Husbands beat wives, wives beat husbands. And every night it is the same scene, and you can hear from every house screams and shouts and abuses and all kinds of things. But the whole village was puzzled that from Pritam Singh's house they only heard laughter. That was unbelievable. Not even for a single time they heard any shout or any scream or beating. Sometimes Sardar Pritam Singh used to laugh. Sometimes Sardarni used to laugh, and they used to laugh really loud. Finally, the whole village decided that this mystery is too heavy and we cannot resist the temptation. We have all to go to him and ask, Sardarji, you explain what it is that you laugh. And particularly at the time when we are all fighting. You have chosen some time to laugh. Are you laughing at us? Then when do you fight? Because we never see you fighting. Sardar Pritam Singh smiled and he said, there is a secret. but I have been hiding it for 25 years. Please don't insist. But they said, it is unbearable. For years we have been also carrying a heavy burden of curiosity. Today it has to be settled. It is making our life difficult. The whole day the idea comes again and again. Why Sardar Pritam Singh laughs in the night? And so loudly too, and both. And they never fight. This is strange because couples are supposed to fight. Otherwise, what is this whole marriage for? What is the purpose? If you are not even fighting, then what are you doing? Sardar Pritam Singh said, if you insist, if the whole village says, I will tell you. I have been married 25 years. We fight every day. They say, what? He said, yes. The time you hear our laughter, that is when we fight. She throws things at me. Verbal fight we don't believe. We are Punjabis. Verbal fights we don't believe. What is the point of just shouting, screaming, saying, nobody is hurt, nothing? She throws things at me, and I, being a Sardar, can't throw a thing at a woman. Although she happens to be my wife, but it is against manliness. So all I do, I save myself. She throws, I save myself. If she misses, I laugh. If she hits, she laughs. And this way things have been going beautifully. We both enjoy. The village people were really at a loss what to say. But one day there was even a greater surprise. They saw both of them going to the court, so they all followed. In the court, the magistrate said, what do you want? Sardar Pritam Singh said, I want divorce. But the magistrate said, I have heard so much about you and your laughter. And you are the only couple in the surroundings who is living joyously, laughingly. You too want to divorce your wife? How long you have been married? He said, 25 years. After 25 years, what makes you decide? Sardar said, I will have to explain to you. She throws things at me. I, being a man and a Sardar, I cannot hit a woman, although she is my wife. So I go on hiding myself. That's why these people who are here from my village, they all have come to listen what is going to happen. They have been puzzled all these years why we laugh. It is simple matter. If she hits me, she laughs. If she misses me, I laugh. The magistrate said, if it has been going on so well for 25 years, now what trouble has arisen? He said, you don't understand. In 25 years, she has become so practiced that now I have no chance of laughing at all. Every day she is laughing. It is unbearable. Now I cannot stay with her. These are our so-called people. They fight. That is unconscious. They laugh. That is silly. They arrange certain compromises just to pull on. But nothing works. At a certain point, every compromise breaks down. Neither the husband hears what the wife is saying, nor the wife. Both have ears. But the art of listening has not been taught to you. Nobody has told you how to listen. When I became a professor, this was my first thing. Every year, 1 month, I was not teaching anything. The first month, those who wanted to participate in my classes has to learn how to listen. It was complained against me that this is not part of the university course syllabus. Nowhere it is mentioned that 1 month we have to learn to listen. The Vice Chancellor asked me that, what is this that you ask students for 1 month just to sit and learn to listen? I said, yes, what can I do? I am carrying the whole burden of your society. This should have been done in their earlier stages. It would have been easier. But he said, they are all perfect, their ears are perfect. I said, it is not a question of ear. You can hear something while you are thinking inside, then that thinking gets mixed with your hearing. It is contaminated, corrupted. Then what you carry as if you have heard it is not what has been said. It is something else. It can be even just the opposite. You have prejudices inside which go on screening everything that passes through your ears. They prevent all that is against your prejudices, and they allow only that which supports your prejudices. Now, this way, at least you cannot understand philosophy. I am not concerned about other subjects, but in my subject it is impossible, because philosophy basically is an awareness of a problem from all its aspects. If you have already a mind about it, for example, if we are discussing about God, and you already think that you know God is, or you know that God is not, then you cannot understand all possible aspects. That what it will mean if God is, what it will mean if God is not, what it will mean if we simply remain indifferent to the question, what it will mean that we conclude that it is impossible to know whether he is or not. We remain agnostic. And there are hundreds of other implications. These are possible only to think if you don't have a predetermined idea. In the beginning, it was very difficult for the students to sit for 1 hour silently listening. The birds outside, any noise, some professors shouting, some car passing, some aeroplane zooming. You just listen. Nothing has to be done. Pure listening. Many of them left before the month was finished. If 30 started, it was almost certain that only 10 will be left. But those 10 have remained grateful to me, not what was taught after that 1 month, but what they learned in that 1 month. What was taught was good to get the certificate, but what they learned in that 1 month of silent listening has become a new way of seeing at things, feeling, being. I call a person an individual if he is capable of listening. And that means if he is capable of being in a state of meditation. Then he is no more a person. He is an individual. You cannot in any way force him to do anything that his consciousness does not allow him. He would rather like to die than to take a false step. Death does not matter. What matters to him is remaining true to himself. It becomes so valuable that everything can be lost. But there is no way to lose it. Once you have it, in fact, it will be better to say you have it already once you discover it. You cannot forget it again. You ask me, why are people not listening to my message? In the first place, there are not people. So who is going to listen? I have been trying to find my people. That's has been my whole life's work, just to find people. I don't want mobs, crowds, organizations. I want individuals. So pure, unprejudiced, that whatever I have to say, they can take it in without judging whether it is right or wrong. This is one of the greatest experiences of life, that anything that is not right starts melting before your alertness. Your alertness, your awareness, your meditativeness functions almost like sun rays for dewdrops. All that is false evaporates. You need not decide what is right and wrong. The wrong disappears on its own accord, and what is left is right. This is a totally new way of existing. People are already carrying the idea what is right, what is wrong. The right has to be done, the wrong has not to be done. Yet they go on doing the wrong, yet they don't do the right. Even a man like Saint Francis says, God help me, because I go on doing what should not be done, and I go on avoiding what should be done. Help me. a man like Saint Francis, and the same has been said by Saint Augustine, just in a little different words, that God, please take care. I am not strong enough to do what is right. You have to give me strength to do it. And I am so weak that I am easily tempted to do the wrong. You have again to help me and prevent me. Now the problem is, these are saints. What to say about ordinary human beings? What will be their situation? They are almost always doing the wrong. Naturally, they feel guilty, miserable, sinners. They fall before their own eyes. They lose self-respect. They cannot feel dignity. And if they cannot feel dignity for themselves, who is going to feel dignity for them? If you are not respectful of yourself, do you think anybody else is going to respect you? If you yourself feel that you are worthless, then you will be surprised if somebody thinks that you have some worth. You will try to prove that no, you are wrong. I am worthless. This is what your religions have given to you. Not respect, not dignity, not the pride of being human beings. These things have nothing to do with the ego. In fact, the ego is needed because these things are missing. Ego is a false substitute for a real dignity. When a man is really dignified, there is no way to insult him. There is no way to disrespect him. You can disrespect, but you will see that he is completely unaffected. He is beyond your reach. Diogenes used to say, you can kill me, but you cannot insult me. Alexander the Great had come to meet Diogenes. He was coming towards India, and Diogenes was on the borders of Greece, just 1 or 2 miles away from the main road. Alexander wanted Diogenes to come to see him, which seems to be expected of a man like Alexander. He sent the message to Diogenes that Alexander the Great wants you. He wants to meet you. And we have come to take you. Diogenes said, tell Alexander that those who are really great don't call themselves great. If he wants to know what greatness means, he should come here. Also take the message that living, nobody can budge me from here. Dead, you can take the corpse, but that will not be Diogenes. If you want to meet Diogenes, you have to come. When this message reached, Alexander felt little insulted, shocked, but also intrigued, very much interested. What kind of man is this? And the people who had come, they said, it is good, sir, that you don't go, because that man is naked, lying in the sun on the bank of a river. He has only one companion, a dog is sitting by his side, and if you don't feel offended, we would like to say to you, it is safer not to go there, because he once in a while talks also to the dog. The man may be mad, but whatsoever he has said, they related. Alexander said, whatsoever is the case, it is only a question of 2 miles, and I would want to finish it. I don't want to carry it all my life, that what kind of man this Diogenes was. I have heard about him so much. That since my birth I have been hearing about him. My master, his master was Aristotle. Diogenes was continuously attacking Aristotle. Aristotle has defined man as a 2-legged animal. Diogenes caught a bird with 2 legs, tore all its feathers, and sent it with a note to Aristotle that this is what you call 2-legged animal. This is man. This bird has reached while Aristotle was teaching Alexander. Since that time, Alexander was interested that that man is he simply crushed the whole definition of Aristotle, a 2-legged animal, by sending a 2-legged animal. he proved that you are wrong. Then he heard that Diogenes goes on with a burning lamp in the daylight and looks at everybody's face. He inquired what he is searching. He found that when people ask him what he is searching, he says, I am searching man. I find the crowd, but the man is lost. And it is said, when he died, the dog was sitting on one side and his lamp was on the other side, and somebody asked him, Diogenes, you are dying. Will you please tell us what happened to your whole life search? Have you found the man or not? Diogenes said, yes, I have something to say. I have not found the man, but one thing I must appreciate, that nobody has stolen my lamp. At least this much I can say about humanity, that people are at least this much good. Nobody has stolen my lamp. I was always afraid that somebody is going to steal. Perhaps it is because of the dog that nobody has dared. Alexander went. He saw the scene as described. He was lying naked. He was a beautiful man and very strong man. And the dog was sitting just by the side of his head. He did not receive Alexander as an emperor, a world conqueror should be received. He did not even got up. Alexander himself has to introduce that I am Alexander and I have come to see you. Diogenes said, good, you can see me. I have no desire to see you at all. And he asked the dog, do you? If you want to see Alexander the Great, see. This fellow is Alexander the Great. Alexander said, I am going to conquer India. Would you like something for you to bring? I can bring from there. Diogenes said, no, because I don't need anything. But it will be very kind of you if you can stand a little aside, because you are preventing my son. If you can do this much, that is more than enough. One can expect of a man like you. Alexander remembers that he had not met many people of such integrity, such dignity, with nothing. No power, no post, not even clothes, no disciples, no church, nothing. Only one companion, a dog. And still he asked that if you can do only this much, stand a little aside, don't prevent my son. And remember that never prevent anybody's light, anybody's warmth. And I tell you that you will never be the world conqueror. And you will never be able to come back home. Because the path that you have chosen never comes back. On and on, you will find something more has to be conquered, something more has to be conquered. There is no end to things. And what you are going to do when you have conquered the world? I want just to ask one thing before you go. Alexander said, what? Really, I have never given a thought to it, but I think I will relax. Diogenes looked at the dog and said, are you listening? This man thinks he is going to relax after he has conquered the world. And I am relaxing already without conquering the world. This is strange. For relaxation, is it a condition to conquer the world? Then how I am relaxing? And Alexander never forgot his whole life. What the man had said was right. There was no condition. If you want to relax, you can relax now. You need not postpone it even for a single moment. Because relaxation needs no precondition. All that it needs, that you want to relax, then relax. Even don't ask how to relax, because that is a trick of the mind to postpone. Then it gets involved into how? Methods, techniques, strategies. Then relaxation is forgotten. Then you are again in a trip of finding methods, and there are thousands of methods. And there is not a single method for relaxation. Relaxation is simply a decision. You want to relax, you relax. If you want to close your eyes, close your eyes. Do you ask how to close the eyes? Once you ask somebody how to close the eyes, then one thing is certain. You will never be able to close the eyes. You may learn thousands of methods, but you will never be able to close the eyes. If you want to close the eyes, close the eyes. It is just natural phenomenon. Relaxation is just natural. Tension is unnatural. there are no people around the world. That's what Diogenes was trying to search for a human face, but he saw only masks. He was searching for an individual, but he saw only personalities. Hypocrites he found everywhere. Not a single authentic individual. And why he wanted to find man, the same was the purpose. He wanted to say something, but whom to say? Somebody is needed to listen it. Otherwise, you are just talking to the walls. I have talked to the walls for so many years. That when for the first time somewhere in 1950 I entered in a radio station studio, for one lecture to be recorded. They wanted to display it all over India, broadcast it, for the simple reason because I was so young and the director of the radio station has heard me speaking in an university debate. He could not believe what I was saying. So he invited me to the studio that any subject you give me, some time to record. Obviously he was worried because I was for the first time in the studio. I had never spoken in an empty room just before the microphone. So he said, you will feel a little awkward, but just once or twice in the beginning it happens. It happens to everybody. So don't be worried. I said, I will not feel awkward because I have been talking to the walls. He said, what do you mean to the wall? I said, that day also when you were listening and you got impressed and you brought me here, to you there were people, to me there were only benches empty. People were all gone in all the directions. Nobody was there. It was absolutely absent. There were only walls around. So you don't be worried. He thought me a little crazy. But he said, okay, you do. I will be watching you from the outside, giving you the signal, when to start, when to stop. I said, you don't be worried. You just tell me the time I will start and I will stop, because you will be a constant disturbance standing there in the window. It was closed with glass, and from outside you will be making signs. Don't disturb me. You simply give me the time. When I have to start 10:30, I will start. 10:40, I will stop. You don't bother. And he watched from there, and he was very much puzzled, because I was talking almost to people the way I'm talking to you. He had seen many orators giving their speeches for records, but he had never seen people moving hands and talking and looking at people. When he came in, he said, what you were doing? I said, it is not a question whether people are there or not. They are never there. And I can't speak without my hands. If you hold my hands, I cannot speak a single word. Because it is not only a part of me that is speaking. It is my whole being is involved in it. My eyes, my hands, my whole body is involved. My whole body is saying something, is supporting what I am saying in words. He said, I don't understand you, because first you said that you always talk to the walls. That I was puzzling, and when I saw you talking here, I saw that you are talking to people. I actually looked into the room. That is there somebody? I have been talking. Many have been hearing. Few have been listening. And slowly, slowly I have been sorting out those people who are capable of listening. And now I am talking only to those who are listening. Now I am not talking to the walls. I am talking to the people. But the questioner must be asking the question about the outside world, the great world around. There is no way. Nothing can be done about it. They don't know how to listen. I have talked with them. It is not that I am a pessimist. I have struggled 30 years continuously with those people around. Nobody seems to be listening. Slowly, slowly I started sorting out my people. And just to sort them out, I started initiating them into sannyas, so that I can recognize them who is my people. I started giving them names so I can remember, because it is difficult for me to remember all kinds of strange names around the world. The real reason was simply names that I can remember. Otherwise, it will be impossible for me. Now, almost from all the countries, people are there. From all languages, it is impossible to remember their names. But when I give you a name, it is a totally different matter. When I give you a name, I give you a name for certain reasons, for certain qualities that I see in you, for certain possibilities that I see in you, for certain characteristics that are already there. And all these become associated, and the name that I give is known to me, its meaning is known to me. Its meaning and your life, style, pattern, potentiality, all become associated. It becomes easier for me to remember you. Otherwise, it is very difficult, almost impossible. I have given you the red clothes for the simple reason of my own recognition. All other excuses are just hogbass. Just to give you good reasons, because people will be asking you and you will have to give good reasons to them. So I have been trying to make philosophy out of nothing. But the truth is simply this, and nothing more than that. And the last thing you say, your message. Why people are not listening to your message? My message is not something just to be listened. My message is not a doctrine, not a philosophy. My message is a certain alchemy, a science of transformation. So only those who are willing to die as they are and be born again into something so new that they cannot even imagine about it right now. So only those few courageous people will be ready to listen, because listening is going to be risky. Once you listen, you cannot escape from it. Then, without your commitment, you are committed. Without even saying a single word from your side, you are finished. In listening, you have taken the first step towards being reborn. So it is not a philosophy that you can just make an overcoat of it and go bragging about. It is not a doctrine that you can find consolation about harassing questions. The doctrine can make them subdued, slowly forgotten. No, my message is not some verbal communication. It is far more risky. It is nothing less than death and rebirth.